I am Captain Logan, and this is day 217 of Spawn Year. Today I felt my energy ebbing again. I needed to replenish my supply of Mountain Dew. As if on cue, Tiny Adam West appeared, holding another can and another comic book. This arrangement is different from the graveyard. Everything there tried to make it hard to motivate me to review these comics or distract me from them, so I would get caught off guard and wind up buried alive for all eternity. But here, I'm forced to continue the game by way of addiction. The agony I felt from caffeine deprivation soon after I arrived is more than motivation enough to keep writing. An eternity in that grave would be an eternity at Disney World compared to this costume sucking my bones dry forever. I wonder if it would somehow be even more agonizing now that the jacket has transformed into a proper Spawn suit. I don't believe Spawn Year has ended, and I don't believe this is my tragic afterlife as I so melodramatically lamented before I regained my memories. But something is off. Why would DT, or Dan Torrey as I'm certain that's what the initials stand for, implore me to continue the one thing this world is designed to force me to do? Yes, the letter may be part of the scheme, but my instincts tell me that's the only real break I've gotten in Spawn Year. I have committed to going all the way without looking for shortcuts, but that doesn't mean I'm going to let Spawn Year make a fool out of me again. This place keeps testing me, so today I decided to test it right back. Without my memories, I submitted fully to this place as hell, making gross assumptions about the nature of everything here. Why did I just assume Tiny Adam West has any power over me at all? He's demonstrated no devastating abilities of any kind, and I've just played along with his idiotic assignments so far like a gullible tool. I thought today, what if he's like that button in the graveyard, begging to be pushed, pretending to be ominous and threatening, and then it turns out pressing it is exactly what I should do. These challenges are designed to be impossible. Succeeding or failing shows no reflection on the player except when he's cheating. I'm not looking for a way out now, but this game has to make its stakes clear. So I grabbed Tiny Adam West as soon as he produced the can. It startled him, and he immediately dropped the comic and the can. He kicked and flailed his arms like a pouting toddler. He was completely helpless, with no physical strength to speak of. But then, the transformation. I thought he might have something up his sleeve, but I wasn't prepared at all for this. As he writhed in my grasp, Tiny Adam West became the Velociraptor. The Velociraptor bit me hard, then took off with my can of Mountain Dew. He spoke to me again and said today's special task would be a simple lesson in humility. All I had to do to receive my needed sustenance was to review today's comic while wearing the trash can lid on my head. Dear reader, it seems we manufacture our own personal brand of punishment. Spawn number 107 sees the return of Brian Holguin as writer, which means last issue a fill-in writer was used for the send-off of the book's previously most important human antagonist, Classy. This issue is a whole lot of setup and very little story progression, so I won't have a great deal to say about what's here until I know about where it's all going. It opens with a backroom mob meeting where a new Russian group tries to sell illegal goods to the established New York Mafia, which isn't actually there to do business, but rather to show the foreigners their place. But Spawn drops in through the skylight like Batman before the shooting starts and puts them all in their place, declaring New York, yeah, I'm gonna say it, Spawn territory! Now that there's no Spawn clock and his powers are limitless, no matter how much McFarlane might insist in the letters pages, the clock is still counting down, but we just don't see it anymore. Spawn doesn't have to punch, kick, shoot, jump, or parry these days, just a poof of green smoke and all the bad guys are down. Are they dead? Probably. I don't know. There's blood and gun smoke, so I'm assuming so. I guess it's not important. This scene is about following through on Spawn's declaration last issue. He's making himself known now, taking over out in the open, enforcing his own rule of law. So his MO is still the same as it's been for 30 issues, except now he's a vigilante again instead of a Death Spectre. I still don't understand how Jason Wynn trying to frame him prompted this change, or, come to think of it, how people thinking Spawn is a serial killer would affect him in the slightest, being all-powerful, or that he'd be much different from how they see him if they believe he's real now. I'm completely detached from Spawn emotionally. Logan is struggling to find some balance between his humanity and his supernatural entity status, and I find, at this point, I just don't care. He's more fun to look at now that he's moving around and doing stuff, but his actions are still plot-driven, and I suspect driven by fan outcry that Spawn's boring just stalking in the shadows. So now he's still inhuman, unrelatable, and out in the open. Meanwhile, Wolfram is back, drinking in some secluded bar, and he has a cryptic exchange with someone called Simon Pure about how Wolfram straddles the fence and has no code. I think Pure works for heaven rather than hell, but we aren't yet told. Who knows with a name like Pure? It's either on the nose or obvious irony. Sam and Twitch investigate Spawn's handiwork, but don't know it's Spawn yet, so I guess they're not working together like it seemed like they were when Spawn killed that guy with a TV antenna. Twitch gets a call from his ex-wife, and there's a lot of post-marital tension, a standard Sam being insensitive scene, etc. We aren't told what the tragic news is, but Twitch's son Max is hanging out with some mysterious, free-spirited, almost certainly evil or occult chick named Dawn at a video arcade. So my guess is he's disappeared, and that's what all the commotion's about, but oddly, we're not told that. Max is skipping school and conflicted over his parents' divorce, so he's impressionable and easily susceptible to Dawn's suspicious interest in him, and that's where the issue leaves off. This one is printed on cheaper, non-glossy paper. Oh Spawn, how far the once mighty has fallen. I'm taking that as evidence that I'm not the only reader growing impatient with this series after number 100. Imagine 7 months, and this is how far we've come since Spawn slayed Malbolgia. Okay, that's it for me today. Hey Velociraptor, can I take this thing off my head now? Please?